of hair dye I have been using is Radico. Yes? Because I have no idea what I'm doing. I am green everywhere. Okay, now you can actually see me in the mirror. I can just barely see myself because I have to watch me through the mirror in the viewfinder over there. So, welcome to my really ugly 90s bathroom. This is one of the parts of the house that I have clearly not renovated yet, but we're just going to have to live with the environment that we have right now. So today my plan is to dye my hair. Now in my last video I talked a bit about thinking about dyeing my hair black. Now immediately I have to admit that I got cold feet. I am not going to dye my hair black today. I have used a lot of different hair color apps and even Photoshop and tried to figure out if black hair would be too dark for me, and I just can't figure it out. So instead my plan is to get rid of the orange. I am going to sort of neutralize my hair tone and try to get to a shade that is pretty close to my natural hair color, which is sort of you can kind of see on my roots here, a sort of mousy grayish neutral dark blonde or medium brunette, I guess. I am going to continue dyeing my hair with plant-based dye and hopefully I can achieve what I'm trying to with that, because I really do love using just plant-based and not using a lot of chemicals. The one chemical I do sometimes resort to using still is bleach, because obviously you can't go lighter with plant-based dyes. You can only add color, not take away color. So this is what I am currently working with, and I haven't brushed it since yesterday, so like I said, I have been using plant-based hair dyes for the past almost the entire time I've had this hair color. I did start with a box dye just to sort of test it out, because henna can be pretty hard to get out of your hair once it's dyed with henna. So the brands of hair dye I have been using is Radico. Yes. So I just use 100% organic henna powder, and that is pretty much what I have in my hair right now. Sometimes I mix in a little bit of cassia, which is a colorless sort of powder, leaf powder, that you can use to kind of dilute your henna. And then also indigo, which is a blue plant-based dye, which is the one I am going to use today. This is not Radico, this is Cultivators. And as you can see, I only have plastic tubs here. This is some old henna mixture that I just took out of the freezer. So anyway, anytime I have leftover henna from a previous hair dyeing session, I just throw it in the freezer and then I just warm it up later and I can use it, so nothing goes to waste. I only have plastic tubs here and then also a pair of wooden chopsticks. It's because you shouldn't touch these plant-based dyes with any metal, because it can cause a chemical reaction with the hair dye, which can affect the end result of the dye, which you obviously don't want. So that is why only plastic and wood. So like I said, I'm going to use my indigo, and then also I am going to dilute it with some cassia or colorless henna. So it is completely pointless to ask me for like tutorials, for like actual tutorials on things like this, because I always eyeball everything and just kind of make up the rules as I go along. So yeah, follow my instructions with a grain of salt always, because I have no idea what I'm doing. So this is the colorless dye. And if you just do a whole lot of indigo, you can actually get black. Good to check the instructions every now and then. Add, specifically for the indigo, to add water that is around 35 degrees Celsius. So I just boiled the water, so it's going to need to cool for a little bit. When you dye with henna, you actually have to do it on clean hair. So as opposed to box dyes, which if I remember correctly, at least at one point in my life, you did it on uncleaned hair. So I am now going to jump in the shower and clean my hair, and then I am going to throw it on and see what happens. I'm now going to add some warm water to the mixture, and I also decided to make a second mixture where I add a little bit of the red henna that I already had pre-mixed to add to my roots. My roots don't have a lot of the red pigment. So I actually usually mix my henna before I jump in the shower to wash my hair. I feel like when you mix it, there is always a little bit of lumps left, and when you let it sit for a while, it sort of evens out. And the consistency you are looking to get when adding the water is sort of like a yogurt type consistency. So not super runny and not super thick, and you can sort of test it out and see what you feel like is the easiest to apply to your hair as well. My hair is clean, no conditioner, no nothing, and I got on some of my hair dyeing clothes, and now I think I am ready to start. Now I'm still sort of contemplating if I should even put any dye. Yes, your input? So one thing I want to mention, which I forgot to say anywhere else in the video, one of the reasons, probably the main reason why my hair has gotten so long, is because I have been using plant-based hair dye. Some people sometimes say that henna is damaging for your hair because it can leave your hair feeling really dry. And from what I have read, it's because henna acts sort of like a substitute for protein for your hair, and when you add protein or something like protein to your hair, you have to balance it out with moisture. So it's really important when you wash out your henna to use a lot of conditioner. So I have actually got like a pretty cheap, still quality, but cheap conditioner, and I use a lot of it when I wash out the hair dye. So I usually use it kind of like a shampoo, and I wash my hair with my conditioner, and I usually do it at least 2 or 3 times, sometimes even more if I feel like my hair needs it. And this will leave your hair feel super strong and shiny and nice. So I don't agree with people saying that henna is damaging to your hair at all. Okay, so I have now a very lovely hairdo. I put the indigo mixture on the ends of my hairs first, so I have like a little over 5 centimeters of hair that I still have no dye on, because I had some outgrowth that I clearly have not bleached. I have just put on some more henna. So it's slightly darker than my ends, which are bleached underneath. So I'm going to let this sit for just a little while, maybe like 15 minutes, and then I'm going to add the indigo to the rest of my hair. Okay, just wanted to show you my gloves. Definitely use gloves when you dye with henna. I am extremely stubborn about not using gloves unless I have to. Definitely recommend using them with henna because it stains very easily, and as you can see, my gloves are turning a sort of bluish green, which is really scaring me, but I am going to trust the process and we'll see. Puhutaan yhteisvelasta, joka on ollut Suomelle esimerkiksi vaikea. Me puhutaan siitä, että eurooppalaisia näitä velkasääntöjä voitaisiin helpottaa sillä tavalla, että ikään kuin puolustusinvestoinnit. I definitely got distracted and this was on for way more than 15 minutes, at least half an hour I think. But I am now going to add the rest of the color to the rest of my hair, and then I'm going to leave it on for maybe an hour. I'll keep an eye on it and see how it looks. Tietenkään se ei ole näin, vaan että taustalla on niin kuin ammattilaisia eli verokonsultteja, jotka tekevät tietysti monet hyvin asiallisia töitä, mutta well, it is very green right now. But I should have enough red, I think, underneath, so it's not going to stay green. Even when you dye with the red henna, it has a little bit of a green tint, the plant, obviously. So I'm not too worried yet. I am green everywhere. Now I'm going to let it sit for half an hour, maybe an hour, and then I'm going to wash it out. With henna, it's very common to leave it in for quite a while. When I did my red henna, I actually used to leave it in overnight at one point, but at some point I found it not necessary anymore. I just figured the result is pretty much the same because my hair takes the color really well. So it depends a lot on your hair, how long you should leave it in. For me, an hour is enough. And especially because I do not want to go super dark right now. går riktigt snart. Ja, vi går riktigt snart. Jag vet, vi går snart. Jami, kattiska, go! Oi, mä hängän den kattisvansen. Oh. Well, it's not orange anymore. It's not exactly what I was going for, but we're getting closer. It's a good start, I think. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but I can definitely see it in the mirror that the parts that were the lightest on my hair turned a little greenish, which is a thing that tends to happen when you dye with henna and indigo, because henna, in addition to having some red pigments, also has a lot of yellow pigments, which you can see because it turns orange and not like a deep red. So the yellow pigments combined with the blue pigments from the indigo will turn green if you don't have enough red pigment in there. So that is what happened, and that's sort of what I was anticipating might happen, but it's not too bad. It's a good first step. So I think I might try to sort of do a little toner on it, like a purple toner maybe, and see where that gets me. And I sort of feel tempted to go even darker now. Maybe. Last night it was looking pretty green, and I was already sort of thinking about having to pick up a box dye today. But it's not that bad. If I were to go black, getting the correct shade of black, yes, there are different shades of black, getting the correct type of black for my complexion is definitely going to be really hard with henna and plant-based, so there is a chance I might end up resorting to box dye. So I hope this included some useful information about dyeing your hair with plant-based hair dye, even though I am definitely not a tutorial type of YouTuber. Yeah, I will be happy to answer any questions you have in the comments, and I'll see you in the next vlog. Bye!